Hello friends, welcome to a new topic today. In this chapter, let us now learn about regional anesthesia. Okay, in this regional anesthesia, we have local anesthesia. Sodium channels are blocked by. So in this regional anesthesia, first and foremost, we have to learn about local anesthesia. So how is local anesthesia seen? See, if you see, we have sodium channels, right? These sodium channels, these local anesthetics will actually block the sodium channels. They even block potassium, calcium and NMDA channels. Okay, so this local anesthetic will block sodium, potassium, calcium and NMDA channels. So if 30 ml of 25% bupivacaine is given, then only 10 ml IV is absorbed. If 20 ml of 0.25% bupivacaine is given, then 10 ml IV is absorbed. In this 10 ml, the onset of this is 45 minutes and duration occurs in 1.5 hours. So if 20 ml of 0.25 bupivacaine is given, 10 ml out of this 20 ml is absorbed. Okay, the rest of the this 10 ml, the onset of action is in 45 minutes and duration of action is for 1.5 hours. Okay, similarly, if you give 20 ml of the same 0.25 bupivacaine and if you give a vasoconstrictor along with it, only 2 ml IV is absorbed. So remaining 18 ml is present for the local action. See, what does this 10 ml IV is absorbed means? This 10 ml IV absorbed represents that, see, out of 20 ml, 10 ml goes into the intravenous circulation. The rest 10 ml will stay for local action. Okay, this 10 ml which is staying for local action, the onset of action is 45 minutes. It takes 45 minutes to act, going to start its action, and duration of action is 1.5 seconds. Here, because there is 18 ml is a lot more when compared to 12 ml, it's almost double, and as a result the onset occurs in 5 minutes. The onset of this drug is within 5 minutes and duration of action is 3 hours. Okay, so what are the uses of giving local anesthetics along with vasoconstrictors? So one, because we give local anesthetics with vasoconstrictor, this decreases the onset time, right? As I have said, in first case the onset time is 45 minutes and it decreased to 5 minutes. So here it decreases the onset time. This decreases the duration of action. So see, in the beginning the duration of action is 1.5 hours. Now second time the duration is increased to 3 hours. So it increases the duration of action. Okay, it has better intensity, right? And it also decreases systemic toxicity also, because only 2% of it is absorbed IV here, because the IV absorption is also decreased due to vasoconstrictor. But what is the disadvantage? The main disadvantage which you see in this situation is it causes increased pain at site of injection. Okay, it causes increased pain at the site of injection and it is contraindicated for sites where end arteries are located. The sites where end arteries are located, like the finger block, toe block, in such sites it is contraindicated. Then if you say we have pKa is equal to pH, that is equal to 7.5 to 8.2. So this local anesthetics, now if you see, this local anesthetics have two ways, act by two ways. One, they occur in the blood, has two ways. One, they are undissociated local anesthetics, and we also have dissociated or ionized local anesthetic. If you see, this undissociated local anesthetic can easily bind to the sodium channel, and this undissociated local anesthetic is the local anesthetic which is helpful in action. Okay, then this is about local anesthetic which is attached to vasoconstrictor. Then if the local anesthetic is given along with NaHCO3, what is the outcome? If a local anesthetic is given along with NaHCO3, that is sodium bicarbonate, then this has a faster onset of action. Okay, and it also has a prolonged action. One, it has faster action. Second, it has prolonged action, and it has third, best intensity. One, faster action. Second, it has prolonged action. Third, it has best intensity, and it decreases the pain on injection also. See, This local anesthetic, if you give along with vasoconstrictor, it increases the pain at the site of injection. But if you give it with sodium bicarbonate, it decreases the pain on injection. Okay, but it is also faster onset, and it also has proper prolonged duration of action. So you can also add local anesthetic with sodium bicarbonate, right? We should learn about the types of nerve fibers. So if you see the types of nerve fibers, there are actually 3 different types of nerve fibers. We have A type of nerve fibers, B type of nerve fibers, and C type of nerve fibers. In A type of nerve fibers, we have A alpha, A beta, A delta, and A gamma. If you see, the nerve fibers are mainly 3 types. We have A type of nerve fibers, B type of nerve fibers, and C type of nerve fibers. A type of nerve fibers are again divided into A alpha, A beta, A gamma, A delta types of nerve fibers. We have A alpha, A beta, A gamma, A delta type of nerve fibers. These are from sensory to motor. Then B fibers include, they are mainly for preganglionic autonomic fibers. Okay, C fibers are mainly they carry impulses related to pain, postganglionic sympathetic fibers. Okay, then if you see the sensitivity, the value of sensitivity is what is most sensitive. Most sensitive are mainly B fibers more than C fibers, more than A fibers are most sensitive. What are most sensitive? B fibers more than C fibers, more than A fibers are more sensitive. Okay, if you see, autonomic fibers are more sensitive than sensory fibers, more sensitive than motor fibers. Autonomic fibers more sensitive than sensory fibers, more sensitive than motor fibers. And if you see, temperature is more sensitive when compared to pain, when compared to touch, followed by proprioception. This is the sensitivity variation. Okay, then if you see the systemic absorption of local anesthetics, the systemic absorption of local anesthetics is more common in IV route, followed by tracheal route, followed by intercostal block, followed by paracervical block, followed by caudal, followed by lumbar or epidural block, followed by brachial plexus, followed by sciatic plexus, followed by subcutaneous route. So that is the reason why we give local anesthetic mostly in the subcutaneous route, right? We give injections in the subcutaneous route. Then if you see about local anesthetic, okay, we will see the drugs which are used in the local anesthetic. So local anesthetic can have either has an aromatic group and an amino group. This aromatic group and an amino group both are attached by ether or amide group. Okay, so we can divide the whole local anesthetics into ester groups and the amide groups. Okay, this is ester groups include the drugs involved in the ester group are they are divided into either short acting drugs or long acting drugs. Similarly, amide groups are divided into intermediate acting or long acting drugs. So what are the short acting drugs? Short acting drugs include cocaine, procaine, chlorprocaine. Short acting drugs include cocaine, procaine, chlorprocaine, benzocaine, and tetracaine. Cocaine, procaine, chlorprocaine, benzocaine, and tetracaine. Then what are the amide drugs? Amide drugs include, we have lignocaine, mepivocaine, prilocaine. Amide drugs have lignocaine, mepivocaine, and prilocaine. And long acting amide drugs include bupivacaine, ropivacaine, and dibucaine. Bupivacaine, ropivacaine, and dibucaine. These are the long acting amide group of drugs. Then if you see the differences between the esters and the amide groups, in esters all esters are local anesthetics except cocaine. All ester local anesthetics except cocaine are metabolized by pseudocholine esterases. So if you see, these ester are metabolized by pseudocholine esterases, whereas in amides and cocaine, these are metabolized by mainly liver metabolizes amides and cocaines. And in esters we have a type of allergy which is called as esters. In the esters there is para-benzoic acid is found in esters, and this para-amino-benzoic acid causes allergy in the esters. Okay, in the esters we have something called as para-amino-benzoic acid. This para-amino-benzoic acid causes allergy in the esters. Okay, then if you see, we have cocaine and we have chlorprocaine also. What do you see in cocaine? Actually, cocaine is the first local anesthetic which is to be used. The first local anesthetic used is cocaine, and this is a natural local anesthetic, right? So it also causes vasoconstrictor, and cocaine also has a sympathomimetic action. So if you see, the main things in cocaine are, it is the first local anesthetic to be used, it is a natural local anesthetic, and it is a vasoconstrictor, and it is the sympathomimetic drug is cocaine. Okay, then if you see chlorprocaine is shorter acting drug is chlorprocaine. Okay, and this chlorprocaine is mainly used in the daycare surgery, most commonly used in daycare surgery for local anesthesia is chlorprocaine. Okay, we have it is short acting, and chlorprocaine is the local anesthetic which is used. Then the next then the next drug which are important is, we have prilocaine and benzocaine, and we also have EMLA. What does EMLA means? EMLA is prilocaine plus lignocaine is called as EMLA. Prilocaine, if combined with lignocaine, then we call it as EMLA. Okay, what are the side of this prilocaine, benzocaine and EMLA? All these three causes a side effect which is called as methemoglobinemia. Methemoglobinemia is manifested when we use prilocaine, benzocaine and EMLA, which is prilocaine plus lignocaine. Then we have local anesthetic systemic toxicity. So what is important thing about local anesthetic systemic toxicity? This local anesthetic systemic toxicity has the following types. It has first CNS toxicity. It includes CNS toxicity, CVS toxicity. Okay, if you see the CNS toxicity mainly includes, we have apprehension. CNS toxicity includes the following side effects, which is apprehension. It also manifests as perioral numbness, tinnitus, perioral twitches and seizures. So the systemic toxicity related to CNS include apprehension, perioral numbness, tinnitus, perioral twitches and seizures. CVS toxicity related to CVS include arrhythmias and cardiac arrest. Okay, so this CNS toxicity and CVS toxicity, those drugs which have high CC is to CNS ratio, that is CVS toxicity to CNS toxicity ratio, is called as safer drug. That is, if they have higher CVS toxicity when compared to CNS toxicity, those are the drugs which are safer drugs. So what is the drug which is safer drug? Drug with highest CC, that is CVS toxicity with CNS toxicity ratio is lignocaine, and this lignocaine is the safest drug. So only local anesthetic which can be given as IV route, and it is safe for antiarrhythmics, we give lignocaine has IV route, and it is safest drug. So lignocaine is the only local anesthetic that can be given as IV route. Okay, the drug with low CC by CNS ratio is bupivacaine, or which is most cardiotoxic. Low CC by CNS ratio is seen in bupivacaine, which is most cardiotoxic. So bupivacaine is most cardiotoxic. So what are the treatment options available? The treatment is, you should do symptomatic treatment whenever there is high CC by CVS ratio, CC by CNS ratio. In that case, you should do symptomatic management, and you can give 20% intralipid emulsion infusion can be given. You can give 20% intralipid emulsion solution can be given. Okay, so if you see the CVS is to CNS toxicity, if it is higher CVS is to CNS toxicity, then toxicity ratio, then we call it, then it is a safer drug, and lignocaine is safer drug, whereas bupivacaine is most cardiotoxic because it has low CVS by CNS toxicity ratio. So what does that CNS by CVS toxicity ratio mean? See, for every drug you will have a minimum threshold at which CNS toxicity occurs, and also a minimum threshold at which CVS toxicity occurs. The dosage at which CVS toxic side effects occur is taken as CVS toxic dose, and the dose at which CNS side effects or toxic effects occurs, that is taken as CNS toxic dose. Okay, so we have CVS by CNS toxic, CVS by CNS toxic dose. Okay, if you see for drug A, the CVS is to CNS toxic dose is 1400 by 200, that is equal to 7. Here if you see, the CVS side effects like arrhythmia and cardiac arrest are manifested at 1400 milligrams, whereas CNS toxic side effects like apprehension, perioral numbness, tinnitus, perioral twitches or seizures are manifested at the dosage of 200 milligrams. That is the meaning of that. Then we have, if you see drug B has CVS toxicity at 500 and CNS toxicity at 250 dose, that is equal to 2. Okay, so among this both, which is safer? Higher CVS by CNS ratio is safer, so this drug is safer. Okay, so what is this drug? This drug is lignocaine. This drug is not that safe, so this is bupivacaine according to the examples given below. Next, let us learn a few points about lignocaine first. So lignocaine, if you see, this lignocaine is intermediate acting. It is amide local anesthetic. It has hepatic metabolism. Obviously, if it is an amide local anesthetic, it has hepatic metabolism. One important thing is it has no allergy, and it is the safest local anesthetic. Okay, because it has no energy and safest local anesthetic, it is the local anesthetic of choice for intravenous regional anesthesia or Beer's block. For intravenous regional anesthesia or Beer's block, this lignocaine is the local anesthetic of choice for intravenous regional anesthesia or Beer's block. Then if you see, what is the drug with maximum safest dose of lignocaine? If you were asked what is the maximum safest dose of lignocaine plus adrenaline, that lignocaine plus adrenaline combination, the maximum safest dose is 7 milligrams. If you give lignocaine alone, then the maximum safest dose is 3 milligrams. So if you give lignocaine plus adrenaline, the maximum safest dose is 7 milligrams per kg body weight. If you give only lignocaine, then the maximum safest dose is 3 milligrams per kg body weight. Then the most important thing is, what are the contraindications of intravenous regional anesthesia? The contraindications of intravenous regional anesthesia include, see, if there is any intravenous regional anesthesia is mainly contraindicated in conditions like sickle cell anemia, peripheral vascular disease, scleroderma. Okay, this intravenous regional anesthesia is contraindicated in conditions like sickle cell anemia, peripheral vascular disease and scleroderma. Then if you see, we have something called as eutectic mixture or EMLA. What is eutectic mixture? Eutectic mixture or EMLA includes lignocaine plus prilocaine. We have the concentration of lignocaine plus prilocaine, both these are present at a concentration of 2.5% each. Okay, we have lignocaine plus prilocaine at a concentration of 2.5% each. Okay, and this has a contact period of 1 hour. The contact period of lignocaine and prilocaine together is 1 hour. Okay, and this is used as a surface anesthetic at 5 to 3 millimeters in size, and maximum application you can put it for 2000 centimeter square. Okay, so this is used as mainly surface anesthetic, not the injectable or some anesthetic. It is surface anesthetic. It is mainly used for surface anesthesia. Okay, the contact period necessary for decreasing pain is 1 hour. So where is this eutectic mixture contraindicated? The contraindications of this eutectic mixture, if you see, it should not be given in neonates, and it should not be given in conditions or in places where there is breach in skin continuity. Wherever there is breach in skin continuity, there you should not give this EMLA, and it should not be given to the mucous membranes. So where should you not give? You should not give this in neonates, and whenever there is breach to the skin continuity, you should not give it, and you should not give this in mucous membranes also. So this is eutectic mixture of local anesthetic, or also called as EMLA. Then we have one more drug which is called as bupivacaine. What is this bupivacaine? It is a long acting anesthetic. It is also an amide anesthetic. Because it is amide anesthetic, it has hepatic metabolism, it has no allergy, and it is most cardiotoxic. As I have already said, bupivacaine is most cardiotoxic, and it is the best local anesthetic for differential block. For differential block, you can use bupivacaine as the best local anesthetic. Okay, for differential block, what is the best local anesthetic? Bupivacaine is the best local anesthetic for differential block. Then we have ropivacaine. So if you see, this ropivacaine is an S isomer of bupivacaine. It is an S isomer of bupivacaine. So it has less motor block, less cardiotoxicity and less potency when compared to bupivacaine. Okay, so these are the important points. Eutectic mixture Arimla is very important. This concentration is 2.5 centimeter percentage each. Even this is asked once. 1 hour and surface area 5 to 6 millimeter square and maximum application for 2000 centimeter square. Okay, so this is about the local anesthetics. Thank you guys for watching my lecture. Thank you.